Suppose your client has asked for a team collaboration platform to be set up on their own cloud server for security and privacy reasons. To make this happen, we will go through several steps. First, we will use Cloud9 service, which you can think of as your own laptop. Then, we will use Terraform to create our virtual server and use Ansible to configure them. Once the Kubernetes cluster is set up, we will deploy and launch our application. Okay, let's get started by creating our Cloud9 environment. Make sure to choose an EC2 instance that is powerful enough and then select Ubuntu as the operating system. You can then click create and wait for the Cloud9 service to be created. This can take a few minutes. We will be using our repository on GitHub, so take some time to familiarize yourself with it, as you will need to adapt it to your parameters such as region settings and other parameters. For example, for some file for Terraform or Ansible, you will need to update your private key. But if you don't have one, you can create a private key using key pair service in AWS. So to begin, let's create our key pair and clone the repository. The process to create a private key is very simple. In our case, we call our key as my private key. Then we select the right format and create the key. Don't forget to download this key and then put it in our development folder. Be sure to place it in the correct folder location. We start by cloning our repository and then replace the key by the new one. And later, we're gonna give this key the right permissions using some command in terminal. For now, we can check that initially we won't have any virtual server except the one attached to the Cloud9 servers. So now we can open the terminal in the Terraform folder and replace our private key name, then type the command to launch our server. This process may take few minutes, but once it's done, you will have the public IP address of your virtual server, and then you can verify this in the EC2 dashboard. Don't forget to update your key name. Also, you will probably need to update your region name and other parameters. Terraform is user-friendly, so in case in error, it will be easy to fix them. So first, we're gonna use Terraform unit, then Terraform validate, plan, and finally, we can do Terraform apply. And this process may take few minutes, but once it's done, you can check this on EC2 dashboard. As you can see here, we have 3 IP addresses and for every server. The first server will be our control node or our master node in our Kubernetes cluster. Both server, the second one and the third one, will be our worker node. All the server have public IP address. Okay, so now that we have our 3 servers created, we can start configuring them using Ansible via SSH command using their public IP addresses and the private key. To test the connectivity for each server, simply copy and paste the command and change only the IP address. It's very important to go step by step and make sure that the servers are really created and they are functional. Of course, you can copy paste and to avoid wasting time writing very long commands. Of course, you will need to modify the host file and replace the IP addresses with the correct ones. The first IP address will be for the control node on the Kubernetes cluster, and according to the role file, it will install and set up specific configuration. The second and the third server will play the role of worker node. Ansible can make the difference between them, and thanks to the host file, he can install some program on the control node and other programs in the worker node. So first, make sure to install Ansible if it is not already installed. Then run the command Ansible playbook and don't forget to give the right permissions for your private key. Keep in mind that our servers are created via Terraform using our private key. This is a security issue, so we need to set up the right permissions for this key. The process is quite simple, but it takes some time as it will install Kubernetes tools on each server and set up the right configuration. For more details, you can consult the playbook files in the role folder, and actually we use bash script file to automate the installation process. So if you want to test only the installation process, you can go ahead and copy and paste only the bash script and test it on another server. Of course, initially you can check if we have already Kubernetes tools installed. Of course, we don't have one, so Ansible will install the necessary tools according to this bash script. Take your time to read carefully this script. Okay, so now we can check if Ansible installed properly the Kubernetes tools by running the command kubectl version, and yes, it's running successfully. That's great. Perfect. Okay, so now that we have our control node server set up correctly, we can check again if all Kubernetes tools are installed properly, and of course, mainly we can check if our cluster is running correctly. So feel free to also test other commands, consult the documentation of Kubernetes, test commands like getting the node, getting pods, so don't hesitate to test every command that may be necessary for further steps. So initially we have only one node in our cluster, so we will need to join the other nodes. To do that, we will create the join command and copy this command and run it on the other servers. So we will wait then a few minutes and you will see two servers appear in the cluster and ready to use. Of course, you may also notice that we already have Nginx server set up by default on the control node. Of course, you may also notice that we already have Nginx server set up by default on the control node. Now we can use Nginx as a reverse proxy server to redirect requests from client to the right destination on the backend side. In our case, we have Rocket Chat, Kubernetes dashboard, and a simple Flask application. First, let's send the code source to the control node. To do that, we can use the following command. Since our server is already set up via Ansible and we already have Python and Flask library, we can directly launch our application on port 5000 and access it via the public IP address. Keep in mind that in our Terraform configuration, we allow all traffic just for development purpose. Please do not allow all traffic in production environment. Okay, things are getting more interesting now as we are ready to deploy our team collaborative platform on our Kubernetes cluster. First, we will send the Rocket Chat Kubernetes file via SSH and then apply this configuration. Don't hesitate to take a look to the code source of Kubernetes configuration and try to understand how it works. As a result, we can see that our service and deployment are created. We can see that both containers for the MongoDB database and the Rocket Chat are running correctly if we use this command. To get the right port, you can use the following command, as we're gonna need this port number later to set up Nginx server. So yeah, for our case, we have this port number. Don't forget to set up the Nginx configuration and allow traffic on the security group. And as we mentioned before, don't allow all traffic in production environment because of security issue. Once Nginx is reloaded, wait a little bit and then you can finally access your application via the public IP. So now we can test it via the browser. Let's wait a little bit and try to do it again. Of course, don't forget to open the ports, and we can test it locally. And yeah, locally it works. So let's test it via the browser, and yes, it works. That's perfect. Great. Okay, so you may not want to access your application via IP address. So if you have a domain, you can link it to your platform. If you don't, you can buy one on AWS or any other provider. The process is simple, as you only need to create records in AWS hosted zone and then update the Nginx configuration file. And yeah, as you can see here, we have managed to access our application with our domain name, jidder.net. It's a good idea to secure your platform. One way to do that is by setting up an SSL certificate. Thanks to Let's Encrypt, the process is quite easy and straightforward. You can follow these steps and you will have a free certificate for your domain in a few minutes. Also, keep in mind that you will need to access your Kubernetes dashboard as it only accepts HTTPS requests. Of course, don't forget to reload your Nginx server, because Let's Encrypt process will modify actually the Nginx configuration. And yes, finally, as you can see here, we managed to access it securely, our platform. To monitor your Kubernetes cluster, you can set up a dashboard. It's a powerful tool that can help you monitor and manage your cluster effectively. Of course, you can monitor your cluster by doing some command like getting nodes or pods. Luckily, the process is simplified and automated with a bash script. Don't forget to test the connectivity locally by setting up Kubernetes proxy. It is also recommended to open specific ports on your security group. Once you have done that, you will need to update your Nginx configuration file and reload the server. After that, when you are trying to access your Kubernetes dashboard, you will be required to put a token. You can easily generate a token with a simple command, like the following one. Yes, so you can copy and paste this token, and yeah, so finally take some time to discover and become familiar with Kubernetes dashboard. We can continue our work by testing the application and setting up its initial configuration. Don't hesitate to test all of its features, including creating user, uploading picture. As this is a chat application, it is important to ensure that the socket works properly with Nginx parameter. Rocket Chat application is an open source, so if you are a developer, don't hesitate to contribute on this repository. However, please keep in mind that a lot of more details need to be expected before deploying this in production environment. If you find this video useful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and share it with your friends. For now, we are working in developing environment, so it's important to avoid any unnecessary charge on your AWS account by deleting the resource created. That's all for now. I hope you find this video helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to get updates on our latest content. Thanks for watching and see you next time.